The MBMC is a partnership between the provincial government of Eastern Samar in the Philippines, 4 municipalities, Hernani, General MacArthur, Quinapondam and Salcedo, together with the fishy folks, to sustainably manage and use the Matanao Bay coastal resources. You can see on the map the 4 municipalities are surrounding the bay, and the MBMC, together with the LGUs and the fishy folk, is trying to manage the bay. So the objectives of MBMC is, the first one is sustainable natural resource management. The second one is law enforcement of the fishery law and other environmental laws. The third one is to help and to improve the income level of the marginalized community, currently especially focused on fishy folk. The fourth one is to ensure that MBMC activities are really focused on gender and both genders. And the last one, the fifth one, is to institutionalize the MBMC and the pharmacies on barangay level, municipal level, and also the integrated level, to institutionalize them as the managing body of the municipal waters within the MBMC jurisdiction. So looking back, and also looking at the strategic review we did together 24th of November, the key challenges for MBMC, I think internal is BUD commitment, having the meetings and discussing the proper things. The second, I will go to that a bit more detail in my recommendations, but also the key challenge is the uniform ordinance, the signing of the uniform ordinance. The third one is resource mobilization, management and coordinating capacity, community involvement and empowerment, especially on the municipal and barangay level, because we've been focused very much on BOD level to get involvement, to get commitment, but the most important is our barangays, because that's where it's happening, that's where the fishy folk are living, and that's where MBMC should provide its services. But of course we need to have commitment from BOD, from the mayors, from the fishy folk representatives. We have to have the commitment to be able to do that work. So external to MBMC, we have the mining threats. I will talk about that a bit later in the third message from my presentation. And also increased partnership with potential stakeholders. We can really benefit, and it's a challenge to benefit from the stakeholders that are around us. So my recommendations to MBMC in general would be continue the good work. And together we've made some simple tools to be able to do this good work. The strategic focus, know your values and your overall goals. You always have to have the long-term orientation. What are we working towards? What is the vision of MBMC? What are the objectives? And once we know what our long-term objectives is, we can put it into action. And we've made an operating model, including the list of primary and secondary activities and the status, including the list of recurrent tasks and the open point list to be managed by the project management office, of course helped with LGUs. And we can continue the coordinating through the meeting structure, especially what we have now, the BUD, IFRMC and anti-WG meetings. I see the commitment of all of you, and with this commitment we have to also improve BUD commitment. The second one, approval of the uniform ordinance still, and this is something to be a bit sad about because it was submitted already in 2006. And what we can see, I mean, also Manong and Eric, this was our first discussion when I met them already. It has been a discussion for so long already in the municipalities. And the simplest thing, Manong was saying, the only thing we require from the municipalities who have not yet signed is, if you don't like the ordinance in any topic, please state, or you don't understand it, please state the section and have the question what you have on the ordinance, so we can have a discussion, we can talk about it, we can improve it. But even it remains general statements, we don't like the ordinance, and no specific comments on specific sections. So the third one is fully staffing the project management office, including manager and secretary. I think also secretary especially to facilitate it, to putting things in writing, also like the proposal we discussed this morning, to put it into writing, to really facilitate the operational structure and also to the BUD. But of course also the manager to keep coordinating and keep putting things forward, because everybody here also has a different task. And sometimes it's difficult to manage your time between your task in LGU and also your work for MBMC. So the next one is resource mobilization. what we've seen in the budget is we don't have the money to achieve our objectives, the objectives I just showed. There's not enough money to do all that. So in order to do that, we have to have resource mobilization to gain more funds. And I hope we really can put the platform proposal forward to have this money for the future and to fulfill the objectives we are not fulfilling at this moment. Then stakeholder management. For example, ESSU, Jerome with his research has worked together with ESSU, and I think the academic can be really a good partner to help MBMC on knowledge, facilitating assessments, research, perhaps even apprenticeships that they can help MBMC in doing research, which is beneficial for both MBMC and also ESSU. And also Roger from the Extension Services Office is really very willing to work together with MBMC. So we can work on a MOA for that. And the last one, empowering M pharmacies and B pharmacies. Like I said also with the previous slide, that's where it's happening. That's the most important thing. How can we go back into the municipal and barangay level? I think we've made a very good start with CERT and Spark and the money from European Union, but unfortunately that was not sustained because we don't have the budget to continue doing that work. So now some specific recommendations to specific persons or groups. So my recommendations to the mayors is please be aware of the role of BOD and iPharmacy, and also be aware of your responsibility. The mayors are the BOD, including the mayors, is the responsible body for MBMC. You are MBMC. And when you look now here at the iPharmacy is the recommendatory body for the BOD. So we really have the best interest at stake. And the 4 Facebook representatives are here in the iPharmacy meeting, and they already comprise 50% of the BOD. So the advices that come from the iPharmacy to the mayors and to the BOD is already 50% power of the MBMC. And still mayors are giving MBMC a difficult time, although all the people here have the best interest and have, I think, very good proposals to the BOD. And I would also want to say to the mayors, take the opportunities that MBMC brings to your LGU. I think the MBMC can be a very powerful organization and helpful organization for the LGU. You can really work together to manage the bay, and it has benefits for every LGU. As an MBMC, you can really find external funds like the platform proposal, which might not be possible with only 1 or 2 LGUs. And also, I think the 2 municipalities perhaps benefiting most are Kinapondan and General MacArthur, because as you can see in the picture, quite enclosed by Hernani and Salcedo. So if Hernani and Salcedo would push through the municipal delineation, it would mean that Jembec and Kinapondan were enclosed, and the fisher folk were not allowed anymore to fish in the Pacific coast 15 kilometers outside, and it would really be bad for the fisher folk of Kinapondan and General MacArthur if that would happen. So I think you can really take the opportunity that MBMC brings. I would also like to say to the mayors, trust and respect your members. With that I mean especially the MPharmacies and also Monovik. So next is my recommendations to the fisher folk representatives, MPharmacies. So I would like to say, seek ways to overcome difficulties, because we're very much focused on yes but, or no, this is not possible. And the next step would be think of the solution. So if we have a but, what would be, how can we do it to make it from a problem to a solution? And referring to my first message, try to overcome the power distance index. I think mayors are really open for discussion and open to talk about the MBMC, and they're very willing. And they have so many things in their head, so they might not just be always aware of MBMC. So I think it's good if the fiscal representatives could perhaps, because they are on the same level in the BOD meeting, if they could overcome the power distance index and talk to the mayors about MBMC.